You heard me, LiPo batteries are now completely redundant for FPV. Well, not if you're a freestyle pilot, so if you're somebody who flies 5-inch quads with LiPos already, then this is probably not going to be the video for you. But if you still want to learn a thing or two about how I think these Lion batteries are going to completely change the FPV battery market, keep watching. So for the past number of years, the narrative in the FPV world has been, if you want to fly fast and you want to fly hard, you use LiPo batteries, and if you want to fly slowly and get longer flight times, you use Lion batteries. And up until now, the main reason for this is because LiPo batteries have been able to discharge much more current than the cells that we would typically use in lithium-ion batteries. However, as of 2025, this has now completely changed with the introduction of these brand new cells known as tabless cells. And the main reason for this is because these cells are able to discharge upwards of 140 amps, which is something that we've never seen before in lithium-ion cells. For the past number of years, Molicel and Samsung have been the go-to for building lithium-ion batteries, but these cells are only capable of discharging 45 amps of current, meaning that when you fly your quad, you have to fly slowly as to not pull too much current to damage the cells. However, with these brand new tablet cells, they have a much higher continuous discharge rate, with most of them sitting around 60 amps constant, with burst rates of upwards of 140 amps, which means that you can basically fly your 5 to even 9-inch quad at basically any speed, and you do not need to worry about pulling too much current. The vast majority of 5, 6, and even 7-inch plus quads will typically only pull between 15 to 20 amps when they're cruising. You'll sometimes get above 40 amps when you punch the throttle, but most of the time your overall current draw is under 60 amps. So having a cell that can handle that draw continuously is an absolute game changer for FPV. This cell here, the Reliance RS50, has a constant current rating of 70 amps with a burst rating of upwards of 100 amps, which is incredibly impressive, basically meaning that you can fly these as hard as you want on your quad and you don't need to worry about stressing out the cells. Of course, if you want to maximize the capacity of the pack, you do want to obviously keep the current draw as low as possible, but the advantage of these new cells is that if you do want to punch out or go a bit harder, you absolutely can do that, and typically we've not been able to do that in the past with packs made with Molicel or Samsung cells. And when we double these packs up to 6S2Ps, we now get constant current ratings of 140 amps. And I can tell you now for a fact there is absolutely no bind and fly quad on the market that can pull upwards of 140 amps constantly without melting the ESC. So up until now, when people have compared LiPos and Lions, they've typically been better at different things. LiPos being better for high discharge and flying fast, with Lions being better for longer flight times, but at the expense of being able to fly harder. However, these brand new cells are basically giving us LiPo discharge rates with the other advantages that come with Lions. Now, one of the biggest advantages of Lions versus LiPos is actually their weight. So for example, a typical 5600 to 6000 milliamp LiPo will usually weigh in around 850 to 1000 grams versus this 10,000 milliamp Lion weighs only 950 grams. So you're getting an extra 4000 milliamps of capacity in this Lion versus this 5600 LiPo for the exact same weight. So overall, the weight saving is the #1 advantage of Lions versus LiPos. You're getting a lot more value there in your capacity to weight ratio. A second advantage of Lion batteries is that they have a much larger voltage range than a typical LiPo. So for example, when you take off of a LiPo, you're normally charging it to 4.2 volts per cell, and you're normally coming into land at around 3.6 to 3.7. And most pilots will typically come into land at about 3.7 volts to keep the longevity of the pack. However, with a Lion battery, you can charge these guys right up to 4.2 like a LiPo, but you can discharge them right the way down to 2.8 volts. So when you're in the air and your voltage drops to 3.7 volts, you don't even have to think about coming into land with a Lion because you're basically not even a quarter of the way into your pack. So this larger voltage range does allow you to get much more capacity out of the battery compared to a LiPo. The third main advantage is size and weight. As you can see here, this is a 4200 milliamp LiPo, and this right here is a 5000 milliamp Lion. When you put these side by side, you can see just how much larger the LiPo is than the Lion battery, despite the Lion having an extra 800 milliamps of capacity. #1, in terms of practicality, mounting this guy on your top plate is a hell of a lot easier than mounting this guy. You can see this in the real world on my Gep RC Vapor 6, which is a 6-inch quad. And as you can see, the 6S1P battery mounts on this guy's top plate, absolutely no problem at all. Versus the 4200 LiPo is a bit of a pain because it's massive. On top of this, the 4200 LiPo weighs around 600 grams, whereas the 500 milliamp Lion weighs around 450 grams. So as you can see, there's an immediate 150 gram weight saving there, which is going to also equate to longer flight times. So overall, as we already know, Lion batteries are a hell of a lot better in terms of weight to capacity ratio. You're getting more capacity and flight time, both in terms of the weight saving and in terms of the extended voltage range that you get out of these packs. And from a practicality point of view, these guys are much smaller and easier to mount onto quads. And if you've been in the FPV world for any length of time, you're probably going, well, I already know this. This has always been the case with LiPos versus Lions. But whilst you may already know this, I was really surprised to find out that basically nobody knows about these brand new cells in the FPV world. Other than a couple of guys in the wing forums and people who would build packs on the daily, there's been absolutely no noise about these new cells. So I figured it was time to make a video and let everybody know. So I found out about these cells basically at the start of the year, and I was really surprised to see that even right up until now in October 2025, there's basically no companies out there making pre-made packs with these brand new tabless cells. People in the community are still buying pre-made Molicel packs for extortionate prices, because up until now manufacturers have put quite a big premium on pre-made Lion packs, which has put a lot of people off buying them, number one. And there's still quite a high barrier to entry in terms of building your own Lion packs, which is ultimately the best way to get the most value for money out of these, which I'm going to touch on later in the video as well, to show you how you can make these guys for as little as $15. So let's find out a little bit more about these cells to see what makes them better than your typical Lion cell. So you're probably wondering, well, what is it that makes these cells so good? How could a Lion cell possibly be better than a LiPo? Up until now, the typical cells available on the market, the likes of the Molicel P42A, the P45B, as you can see here, even like the likes of the Samsung 50S, have only really been rated for around 35 to maybe 45 amps absolute max in terms of current. We did, of course, recently see the Molicel P50B cell, as you can see here, which is rated for 5,000 milliamps with a current draw rating of 60 amps. But even this is not the best you can get, because around a couple of months ago, there was an introduction of these brand new type of cells called tabless cells. And basically, these 21700s have a completely different design, and they're able to withstand a lot higher current draw than your typical 21700 cell. So to put it simply, the main advantage of these cells is how the current gets out of the cell internally. With normal cells like the Molicel P45B, all the current has to flow through a small number of welded tabs inside the cell. And whilst these tabs inside the cell do work, they create a bottleneck, which adds a lot more resistance and heat when you pull higher current through them. Versus with tabless cells like the RS50, the current is distributed across a much larger area of the electrode inside the cell. It allows for lower internal resistance, less voltage sag under higher load, and ultimately better heat distribution. So this is how these cells are able to deliver much higher currents more efficiently, whilst remaining cool and not sagging under higher loads. So like this back 45D here has a constant amp draw rating of 60 amps with a burst of upwards of 120 amps, which is incredibly impressive for a 2100 cell. We also have the likes of this one here. This is the E40PL. This is rated for 70 amps constant with pulses up to 140 amps, and it has a 4,000 milliamp capacity. So a slightly smaller capacity, but you are getting a bit more current draw rating with the 70 amp rating. But as of basically the past month, even the likes of the E40PL has just been replaced with these incredibly cool cells here. These are the Reliance RS50s. I've literally just got a box of 200 of them here. We have a box in here and another one here. And this is a tabless 21700 with a capacity of 5,000 milliamps with a constant current draw rating of 70 amps, which is absolutely incredible. So you're getting a whole extra 1,000 milliamps compared to the likes of the E40PL here, whilst retaining the 70 amp constant current draw rating. So this is incredibly impressive for a 21700 cell. And this is even coming out on top of the likes of the back 45D, which is only rated for 60 amps and only has 4,500 milliamps of capacity. So when I saw these guys just come onto the market, I had to pick a couple of them up. The problem, of course, was you actually couldn't get them in any of the typical wholesale sites, the likes of Cell Supply in the UK or Encon in Europe. So I actually had to go to Alibaba, which is basically the wholesale version of AliExpress, and buy these directly from a cell supplier who would supply to the likes of these stores. The downside, of course, being there was a minimum order quantity of 100 cells, but I did manage to convince a couple of guys in my local group that we needed these, and so we actually ordered 200 of them, which was crazy, and we ordered 100 of these other cells here. These ones here are actually the very first tabless 18650 cells. The 18650s are a lot smaller in terms of size compared to a 21700, as you can see here. They are typically rated for a lot less current, but they do suit smaller quads a lot better. The likes of 2.5 inch, 3 inch, 3.5 inch steady whoops. They're also good for 5 inch quads or 4 inch lightweight cruisers. But up until now, the downside of 18650s is that they're just not rated for a lot of current. Most 18650s are around 15 amps constant, with some of them having upwards of 30 amps of a burst, but that's normally the absolute max you can get out of these guys. Whereas this cell here, the Ampace JP30, is the very first tabless 18650 cell that has a capacity of 3,000 milliamps with a current draw rating of 50 amps constant, which is very, very good for an 18650. And this thing is also said to have a burst of upwards of 140 amps for 5 seconds, which is absolutely crazy for a cell of this size. As you can see, I actually do have quite a lot of 18650s I've picked up over time here. I used to have loads of these guys here. This was the Molicel P28A, which is quite a well-known 18650, but this guy is only rated for 2,800 milliamps. milliamps, and it only has a current draw rating of 25 amps max, so it was never really good in a 6S 1P configuration. You had to run it as a 6S 2P, double it up to be able to use it on a larger quad. Now, there was quite a lot of 3500 milliamp 18650s in the market, the likes of these ones here. This is the back 35E, which is 3500 milliamps, and this is a 10 power 35HE, which is rated for 3500 milliamps as well. But both of these cells only have a max rating of 10 amps per cell, which is basically useless for a quad. Even in a 2P or even a 3P configuration, you just would not be able to run this on a quad. So basically the only thing I was able to use these cells for was on a 2P configuration on like literally one of my wings, which was the Adam RC Dolphin, which only pulled like 20 amps. So these cells were basically useless for RC craft in general, unless you had something that pulled literally 5 amps max. But now with the introduction of these guys, the Ampere JP30, we now have 18650s with a decent capacity of around 3000 milliamps with a current draw rating of 50 amps. So when you double these guys up, you'll be getting 100 amps constant or 6000 milliamps in a 2P configuration, which is pretty impressive for an 18650 cell. As I said earlier, they are of course a lot smaller than a 21700 and they're a lot lighter. So we are starting to see some pretty good gains now in the 18650 market. But of course, for building quad packs, you want to be using 21700s primarily. And these RS50s are now the best that money can buy. They even outperform the E50PL, which is actually the 5000 milliamp version of this E40PL. So 5000 milliamps and a current draw rating of 70 amps. Basically exactly the same as the RS50, but as you can see here in this testing diagram, RS50 is able to retain more capacity after different testing at different current draws overall. So basically the RS50 is the best that money can buy in terms of 21700s. There is actually an RS60, which is going to be coming out later in the year, I think around winter, and that is going to be the world's first 6000 milliamp cell that actually has a decent current draw ratings. I think the rumored spec is around 50 amps constant for this cell, which if true is going to be absolutely incredible, because we're going to be getting 6000 milliamps in a pack that would weigh only 400 grams, which is absolute insanity. You know, a typical 6000 milliamp Lion could weigh easily up to a kilo. So if we're going to get a 6000 milliamp pack at 400 grams, which is a whole 600 grams lighter, that's absolutely incredible. So you have to stay tuned for those, because as soon as those come out, you can bet that I'm absolutely going to have a box or two of them sitting here, and I'll be sure to make a video on them. Okay, so what are the downsides of tabless Lions? Because you're probably thinking there's no product on the market that could be completely flawless and not have any issues. And I think probably the biggest issue at the minute with these guys is actually availability. As I said earlier, these things are now on par with LiPo performance for discharge rates. So I think manufacturers are going to be pretty hesitant to start building packs using third-party cells that rival their own LiPo batteries, and as such start to make LiPo batteries redundant for larger quads. On top of this, as I mentioned earlier in the video, there is such a premium put on pre-built Lions for some reason. Manufacturers seem to see them as an easy market to put on upwards of 200% profit on a pre-built pack, and so with the current price market of pre-built Lions, we can expect these to cost a hell of a lot more. And so when we go into tablet cells, all I've seen so far is a couple of 70 amp packs from Goldline. I think they're called the S70s or something, and they are probably the best option at the minute for a pre-built pack. And as I said earlier in the video, if you're a freestyle pilot who uses LiPos that weigh in and around 180 to say 220 grams, you're already somebody who's extremely sensitive to weight. And so going to a pack that weighs a bare minimum of 300 grams, you're going to notice that weight straight away, and it's probably not going to be ideal for you if you want to keep your quad super lightweight and snappy. However, if you're a freestyle pilot who runs LiPos and an action camera, well then you're actually already at the weight of a Lion pack. So if you want to get the benefits of extremely long flight times, the ability to punch out as hard as you want without having to worry about stressing the cells, then you actually can run a 6S 1P Lion pack that would allow you to fly for 4 times as long without having to worry about stressing the cells. You are of course going to need to find another way to record your HD footage, because you're going to need to lose the action camera if you want to save that weight, but you could just use a DJI O4 Pro and get your 4K footage out of the FPV cam. And doing this will allow you freestyle guys to rip for probably upwards of 15 minutes on a pack that's even cheaper than your typical LiPo, and that's what we're going to talk about now. So if you're somebody who flies 6S on 5 to 9 inch quads, you can build 6S 1P packs for as cheap as £17 a pack or $24 each. These RS50 cells that I bought from Alibaba were only $4.30 each, which is incredibly cheap for a 5000 70 amp cell. Now of course when you're building your own packs you do need to get the right equipment to be able to build them, but that stuff is not expensive. If you're somebody who already owns a good soldering iron, then you can build packs yourself. The actual stuff needed to build these packs is incredibly cheap. It's basically just tape, XT60s and a bit of wire, or if you want to go down the spot welding route, which is arguably much safer for the cells, you can do that as well, and it is not actually as expensive as you think. A lot of people jump straight onto Amazon and look at the cheap spot welders on there and think, flip, I need to spend £80 on a spot welder. You absolutely do not, and I actually would not recommend buying these spot welders because they're part of 18650 cells and are absolutely terrible at welding any decent thickness of pure nickel. I'll drop a link in the description to the spot welder that I use. It was only £20 from AliExpress, and it's actually powered off a 3S 12 volt LiPo that allows it to get much more power when it comes to welding the strips. And I'm able to weld 0.2mm pure nickel strips snaps with absolutely no problem at all. And I can do upwards of 5 layers with this welder without it breaking a sweat. And so once you got this stuff, you can literally build around 4 packs for the price of 1 pre-built Lion or big LiPo. So if you're somebody who flies cinematic FPV or long range FPV and you want to get more flight time, building packs with these cells is 100% the future. There you go. Thanks for watching. Let me know down in the comments what you think of tabless Lions. Are you going to be building some? What do you think of them? Do you think you're going to be replacing your LiPos with them? I'd love to know. Drop it down in the comments and I'll see you in the next video.